side called Third Coast Review. I'm also co-hosting these Q&As since the very first Flashback weekend. Let's bring on our next guest. Mr. Zach Galligan is here.
I'm very well. By the way, if you get a chance, stop by Kane Hodder's table. He has a beautiful banner. It's just remarkable. You should check it out. It's amazing.
That's great.
It's beautiful. I'm just telling you, go by his table and say hi and just check out his banner. It's great.
You can find Kane right next to Zach, actually.
And you can find us just, we have a friendly thing going on ever since Hatchet 3 where we're just completely busting each other's chops non-stop. And the banner is just my little contribution to that. It's a beautiful banner. The last time I saw a banner that beautiful was when I was at the 99-cent store. That's just a remarkable banner. Yeah,
Before we dive into some of the things you have done in the past, I want to ask you about something that I noticed. It looked like it was, maybe you can update us. You have a film called Bad Candy that you were a part of.
Yes.
What can you tell us about that? I have a release date of September 10th on that. Tell us a little bit about it. It looks like it's an anthology.
It's a Halloween-based anthology, and the wraparound story. The conceit of the movie is that there are two guys in a kind of a small town, and they're on a radio station, and they're doing Halloween stories for Halloween. And they're telling them, sort of, instead of playing songs, they're telling stories on this small radio station. And the DJ is a guy he's a character named Chili Billy, that's his stage name, played by Corey Taylor of Slipknot, the lead singer of Slipknot. And I played his producer. And so people call in and request stories instead of songs. And so he starts to tell the first few lines of the story, and then it cuts to the story and you see what it is. And so it's kind of a clever concept. It's very beautifully shot. It's incredibly kind of a day glow, bright, colorful movie. So if you like those kind of things, this is definitely kind of your film. And then one of the clever things is that all of the stories have various elements of things that happen in this small town. We shot it in a small town in Georgia called Milledgeville, Georgia. And then one of the clever things is that all of the stories somehow link back to the two characters, me and Chili Billy, in the radio station, have implications on us too. So obviously I don't want to give away any of the endings or anything like that, or what it really means, but it is kind of cleverly done. And Corey and I basically just shot our wraparound sequence, just all of our scenes back to back over the course of 2 days. January 3rd and 4th of 2020, last year. And it turned out pretty good. I've seen it, and I'm happy with it, and I think Corey's happy with it too. And September 10th could be correct, but I just heard they want me to go, and me and Corey go to Los Angeles to do some publicity for it. There's a party for it September 18th. So they tend not to do the parties for it after the movie comes out. So my guess is that they might have pushed it a couple weeks. Sounds more like the 24th. Okay. They might have pushed a couple weeks, but it's definitely looking for a September release. So we're talking 2 months.
I love the title, Bad Candy.
Bad Candy.
It's great. It's just
what you get in Halloween in your bag.
Every time you reach it, you pull out something more.
That's right.
It's awesome. And I think it played a couple genre festivals already. People seem to dig it.
It did. It played at a few genre festivals, and to my amazement, I won not one, but 2 Best Actor awards at these festivals.
Of course you did.
I don't know if it was legitimate or bribe related or what was going on. I was pretty stunned by it, but there you go. I have have 2 little plaques at my house now, and it's going to be best actor at this festival and this and that, and it's all kind of fun.
All right, so that's some questions you've probably never been asked before.
Okay.
Let's start with Gremlins. No, but I do want to start with Gremlins because the story I heard, again, please tell us the story, is about getting cast in the film, which we would expect that, especially for the 2 human leads, that it would have been this massive casting call, there would have been a lot of competition and a lot of kind of known younger actors who came in, but it doesn't sound like, at least from your perspective, it didn't sound like it was a cattle call of some sort.
Well, the thing is, I mean, there were a large number of what so-called A-list people that came in and went up for it. I mean, I certainly know for a fact that Kevin Bacon, Emilio Estevez, Matthew Modine, most of the people who in April, May, March 1983, spring of 1983, would be considered people who were on a roll and doing, kind of hot and whatnot. So it was weird because there was another movie that Spielberg's company was doing called Fandango, which is not a horror movie at all or a special effects movie at all. It's kind of a coming of age drama. You can see it if you look it up on IMDb. It's one of the first movies with Kevin Costner. So Kevin Costner, I think, tried out for Gremlins also, because most people were trying out for either Gremlins, Fandango, or both. Judd Nelson's in Fandango as well, so I'm pretty sure that he most likely tried out for Gremlins, or maybe not, I don't know. There was a lot of overlap between people trying out for one, the other, or both. So the only reason why I didn't experience it as a cattle call was that when I went in for my final audition, I was one of the first people to come in that particular day. I think my appointment was something like 11 or something like that. I wanted an earlier appointment because I was scheduled to go to Fort Lauderdale for spring break. Remember, I'm 19 years old. And so I had a flight later that day. So I came in and banged out the audition and jumped on the plane. And it was funny because basically, actually, you know what, that's wrong. I was leaving the next day, so I wanted it just the day before, because what happened is I did the audition and they overnighted it to Spielberg. He cast me the next day, and I landed in Fort Lauderdale and was there for 2 hours and then turned around and come back. It's okay.
Any regrets there?
I think I got a lot more activity having done Gremlins than I would have just hanging out in Fort Lauderdale. So it was good, but my friends were all freaked out when I was at the local Fort Lauderdale pub, that's maybe a couple of blocks away from the hotel. We stayed at a place called the Dolphin Hotel. I don't even know if it's still there. I was broke, and it was a very cheap place to stay. And my friend Donnie Wilkinson, who I went to school with, came in and goes, "Hey, your mom just called and said you need to call her right away." Because he had been back at the room doing something. I think he had to make a phone call or something like that. And the rest of us had gone to get some margaritas. I was 19, remember the drinking age, 1983, 18. So I was legal. Of course, I was drinking in Manhattan when I was 15, but that's a second. There were no laws in Manhattan in the 70s, like of any kind. If you were ever in New York City during the 70s, it's kind of like Taxi Driver when you see it. It's just kind of like a free-for-all. Anyway, I digress. So I went back to the room and I called my mom back and I go, "Hey, what's going on?" And we used to have this joke, and I get beaten out by other actors all the time, specifically Matthew Modine and Matthew Broderick. The two Matthews were just nemesis. They were just constantly beating me out for various things. And so when I didn't get something, I would say to my mom, "Guess who got this project?" And she'd be like, "Who?" And I would go, "Matthew Broderick." And she would go, "Oh, that's a shame." And I was like, "Yeah, well, we'll get it next time. We'll get it next time." And then when I got Nothing Lasts Forever, which was my breakthrough kind of movie in terms of getting studio movies and just getting major parts, even though the movie never got a wide release, I teased her, came home, and I went, guess who got Nothing Lasts Forever? And she goes, oh no, who? And I went, you're looking at him. And she was like, yeah, I was all excited like that. So she called me up and I go, Mom, what's going on? She goes, guess who got Gremlins? And I went, ooh. She goes, you did. Oh my, my heart started racing and pounding because I knew it was a Spielberg movie. I knew it was a 4-month shoot. It was in this place called Los Angeles I had heard so much about but had never been to. It was 1983, it was Spielberg, it was coming off of E.T., it was his next movie after E.T., I'm the lead in it. Who else is cast? Oh, it's down to Phoebe Cates and one other girl we don't know yet. The other girl actually is Diane Lane, which is also a fantastic possible choice for that movie. And so she's like, the only thing is you have to come back tomorrow. And I'll go, why? She goes, you have to come back and you have to read the script and say it's okay. I had not read the script. They wouldn't allow me to until I got the offer. And I said, where's the script? She goes, it's right in front of me. I said, have you read the script? She goes, I have. I said, wait a second. You read the script before you even called me to tell me about the movie? She goes, I did. I said, is it any good? She goes, oh, it's amazing. I don't want to give away, but you do all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. And you get the girl and you blow up a movie theater and it's super cool. Spoiler, I blow up a movie theater. And so, that's how I got it. And it was amazing. I flew back the next day and I read it and I said, thumbs up, let's do this thing. And then I had 6 weeks to wait before I had to fly to Los Angeles and do it. So you're just sitting around for 6 weeks, going this and that, and you're having trouble sleeping, you're excited, you're freaking out, you're having imposter syndrome. You know, one second you're like, I'm gonna kick butt, you know, and then the next second you're like, I can't do this. This is a mistake, they're gonna take it away from me. They're not gonna take it away from you. Like, they're gonna take it away from me. I'm gonna kick ass, you know, and one second you're confident, the next second you have absolutely no confidence in yourself whatsoever. I'm 19 years old. It's my second movie, you know. So hang on, almost done. And so when I went to the audition, just to go all the way back to the beginning, I walked in kind of early and I saw Phoebe. And she and I had auditioned for a few other different things before. So I was like, hey, she's like, hey. She's like, you trying out for this? She's like, yeah. She's like, oh, I hope we're paired together. Here, let's run the lines, you know. And basically, when Phoebe told me to do anything, I did it. If she was like, jump off the building, I'd be like, see you later! Jump off the building, whatever she said, told me to do, I would do it. So we sat down, we started running lines and everything like that, and then the casting director popped her head out and was like, Zach, Phoebe, we're ready for you. And we were like, yes! We get to read together. And that was the first time we read together for Gremlins. And we just did the audition scene where I asked her out on a date. And I was all gobsmacked because I'm standing next to the most attractive woman ever created. And I just didn't know what to do. And when the scene was over, Joe Dante didn't call cut. He just like let us keep going. And if he doesn't call cut, you keep acting. I didn't know what to do or what to say, so I just kind of put my head on her shoulder and I'm like, what a gorgeous, amazing, incredible creature to be standing next to, you know? And apparently when Spielberg saw the tape, he saw me put my head on her shoulder and he was like, look at that, he's already in love with her, I don't need to say anything else. That's how I got the part, just from a little casual, jokey thing that I did when the audition was over.
This is what came natural to you.
Just, it came natural, all right.
I wonder